But probably the most frustrated Premier League manager at the moment is Slaven Bilic, because Dimitri Payet, after some below par performances this season, has said that he no longer wants to play for the club. He doesn't even want to train with West Ham. And this is what Slaven Bilic had to say about it.
I got something for you, to tell you. Had a situation with a player. It is Dimitri Payet. He wants to leave. The club, us, as I said so many times before, we don't want to sell him, and he refused to play for us. So I have a team to manage, and he's probably been tapped up by some clubs or whatever, which is usual in this part of the year or whatever, in the transfer window. So anyway, until he changed his attitude, he's out of the team. He ain't gonna train with us, and I expect from him, because we ain't gonna sell him, no whatsoever. It's not a money issue, nothing. We wanna keep our best players, and I expect from him to come back and to show commitment and determination to the team, like the team had shown to him.
Well, look, you can understand, if I'm going to be entirely fair to Dimitri Payet in this situation, that he may feel disappointed that West Ham haven't picked up from where they ended last season, and they haven't kicked on from there. Can you understand, though, the frustration getting to the point where he refuses to play altogether? There are reports that he doesn't want to train, that he says, well, I can't train, I've got a back injury, that he's effectively withdrawn himself from life at West Ham. Totally can't
understand how it's got to this point with him. You know, whether the board, and I know that board, they're very much driven in respects of money for me, the way they're running it, the way they're scrimping and scraping around signings, and maybe we don't know what's happened with Dimitri Payet, if they promised him that this was going to happen, that's going to happen. I still believe that it's got nothing to do with players and what they do in the boardroom and who they're going to buy. A player's got no right to say, match my ambition and all this sort of stuff. When you sign and you hope that they bring those players in.
Does a player have, if a club has been sold to a player, when he signed his contract extension in February, does a player have a right to go to the board or whoever it is he's negotiating with and say, where is this club going? If they have offers elsewhere, are they within their rights to say, I should stay here because, and then the club should try at least to keep those promises?
Well, Kels, there's nothing.
I know we're sort of scraping around the ifs and buts here, but
no, Kels, there's nothing wrong with you going in and saying that, but the club can say to you, that's not your business. We're trying to do what we're trying to do. You just carry on playing and be the top player for us that you've been. We will try and get on with doing what we're doing. Whether or not Gold and Sullivan will do that is another matter. But for Dimitri Payet to come out and say, I don't want to play and I want to train, is totally out of order. And this is why I say, for me, I would get the doctors to check him. If he's okay to play and he says he's not okay to play, I'm hearing he's saying he's got a back problem. That's the oldest one in the book because it can't be detected. I would, if the doctor says he's fit to play, I would stop paying him. I think the players coming out now and saying they don't want to play and they go on strike, they should not be paid. What Dimitri Payet has done to the West Ham fans and Slaven Bilic for the faith that they've put in him and they've shown him the opportunity they've given him at 29, 30, we're now seeing this Dimitri Payet emerge. It's disgraceful. It's disgraceful the way he's gone. Whatever has been promised to him, he should never come out and say that about.
It's so needlessly extreme.
It's terrible.
Although he does have a slight history of it. I mean, he did it in France once or twice as well. But even, you think in that sense, I mean, there's some talk that this is all because his family wants him back to France. But even if that's the case, it's not like France is like a 6-hour flight away. Yeah, you lump it for 4 or 5 months. You know, because you would get the move in the summer. Even if you played, you might get one now.
I think it's probably quite funny if we've got people watching from all over the world where an hour and a half plane journey is nothing. That's that's visiting relatives for the day.
He could have done it so much more differently. He could have came out so much differently in respects of, you know, something. There's certain things we've said, it's not happened how I'd like it. I know I signed a contract in February, whenever it was, but you know something, I just feel like now I'm going to try and give my best, but I believe that me and the club are going to have to part company at some stage because there's certain things that I cannot no longer carry on with.
I mean, you can understand that the frustration from Slaven Bilic, who now has one of his star players taken out of the equation. From the club's point of view, from a financial point of view, there've been reports, and we are dealing in lots of reports and rumours here, but there have been reports that Dimitri Payet has a £15 million buyout clause if West Ham are relegated at the end of the season, which they are in danger of being. If that's the case, and if West Ham have turned down £19 million from Marseille, are they squeezing too hard to keep hold of the player?
Yes, I think they are. Because remember, he is 30. You're not going to get, I don't know how, I'm seeing West Ham fans, reading West Ham fans saying, take 30 million for him and get rid of him. Why would you pay 30 million for him? You know, if he's got a clause for 15. If you've got a clause for 15, even more reason for Dimitri Payet to say, I'm just going to just get on with it and carry on and let somebody, if they're going to take the chance on a 30-year-old to pay 15 million, which they're not going to get back, then let them do that at the end of the season, where he doesn't have to now be vilified everywhere he goes.
I read that Gary Neville described Dimitri Payet to West Ham fans on social media earlier. He said, he's a grain of sand on the beach of your club. That's how important he is going forward. In terms
when you
of West
consider
Ham
where West Ham are right now, West Ham are right now, Dimitri Payet in top
It's a sunbed.
I do have to say, even from a journalist perspective, though, as well, when you're kind of sent to West Ham for the beginning, I was thinking, well, at least I get to see Payet.
And all the road blockages around there and everything. It's not worth going now.
But listen, but can Bilic, if he's clever, use this to his advantage? Can he turn the rest of the players and galvanise them and say, do you know what? He's not willing to stay and fight with all of you. He thinks he's better than all of you. We're staying here and we're going to get out of this situation. Well, to someone like Lanzini, for instance, say, you take on that mantle.
And I think that he's somebody who can. And I think that it's the perfect tonic for Slaven to go into the dressing room and say he does not want to play with you guys because he believes you lot are not good enough to take him where he wants to go. He wants to leave. He does not want to play for us. Now, if those players can't be galvanised and to put in performances, I'm not saying they need to beat everybody, but this could be the foundation where they start and say, well, that's when it happened. We realised that he doesn't want to play with us, our best player. And that's when it starts to change for them. Because if they put in performances now, the fans will be right behind them. It could turn their season over. It
can go one of two ways, I suppose. Either that can be a scapegoat for failure, or else it can be a rallying point for, resilience. And I think Bilic obviously has to use the latter.
Well, you said that they don't need to win every single game, West Ham, but they could really do with the 3 points this weekend against the Crystal Palace side that is also struggling. And there hasn't been quite the turnaround that Sam Allardyce was hoping for.
I had 4 exceptionally enjoyable years at West Ham and really did enjoy it. And probably one of the reasons I'm back here is not just for the football club, it's for London, the area itself. I really enjoyed living in London. Went back with Sunderland last year and it wasn't a problem for me or the fans. So I'd expect that the reception, if we start winning, won't be too clever. But I think the reception overall, certainly last time I remember against Sunderland, was fine. Deep down inside, even though I didn't say it, but reflecting on the Watford game, how bitterly disappointing, how costly that draw was, and the victory we should have gained in that day, being my first game, would have made everybody feel a little bit more comfortable having come away with a win. Yes, we got a good performance. Yes, we should have won, but we didn't. And of course, it was very costly missing the penalty at that stage. So, and now we see that we've gone 4 games without a victory.
Well, Sam Allardyce is right. It has been a disappointing start to life for Crystal Palace. Have we seen any signs of improvement, any of that Sam Allardyce resilience in Palace?
I did in the Watford game. And when you consider, like he said, the penalty miss, and I thought they were very, very good in that game, but they didn't take chances. And in the end, in the Premier League against Watford, who are not themselves being prolific, you're going to get punished. And I think that, yes, he's gone 4 games without a win, but that could have been a win and it could have been different. But that's just the way it goes.
But if you're a Palace fan, you probably would have taken a draw against what you'd have hoped for a win, but a draw would probably be a fair result against from where Palace were when Sam came in. But the point I was going to make was that it was almost the defeat by Swansea that was worse for Palace.
But the one thing about the Watford game as well, I mean, had they got the win, I suppose this is the thing with any new manager, had they got the win at that point, suddenly it breeds more confidence in these new ideas and has a kick on in itself.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe what affected them. Because I mean, in terms of what we were talking about with Pulis earlier, I think it's similar with Allardyce. Just the arrangement of a team, that organisation. It did take Pulis a little bit of a while at Palace as well. 3 years ago. So, I mean, to be honest, I'd have no concerns about Allardyce.
Yeah, I don't know, Miguel, simply because even with the Swansea game, that second goal you saw there, that is a great pass from Leroy Fer, but too much time he had on the ball. And then we had Rangel running from the side. It was too easy for a Sam Allardyce team to be breached like that. And that was quite worrying for me to see. So I haven't seen enough from Sam that makes me think that anything's happened at Palace. But he's had enough time now to be working with them defensively. So you want to see more. But Wilfred Zaha's missing, and that's going to be a massive blow.
Well, this is the point, because the idea is that Sam Allardyce came in, tightened up their defence, and that they had these creative players who would pretty much take care of themselves. But they can only take care of themselves if available.
If they're there.
And as you said, Zaha's gone off with the Ivory Coast.
And as well, I feel that Benteke, I still feel he's not being utilised to the best, the fullest of his ability. I don't think there's enough balls going in the box, which is another thing that's very surprising for a Sam Allardyce team. And their most creative player, like we just mentioned, has gone. Is that I think the buck now stops with Andros Townsend. He needs to put in performances and very good performances in respects of now creating chances.
He's one of the few kind of pacey outlets now as well.
Absolutely, yeah. He's really got a shift to put in there, Andros.
Yeah. So as you were saying, you're not getting the best out of Benteke because you haven't got the creative players around him. You've got Zaha, who's gone off to the Africa Cup of Nations. Do you think that's why Sam Allardyce is looking at Jeff Schlupp? Because Claudio Ranieri said in his press conference for Leicester that that's... He didn't name names, but he said it's pretty much a done deal, didn't he?
Yes, well, again, he's athletic, good left foot, could get down there. Left back, he could play left. You know, they've had a problem with Suarez, the left back, in respect of his injury with a car crash, and then he's somebody that can play up that left side and he can get balls into the box. He's somebody that needs to be playing a lot more regularly than he's been playing as well, Jeff Schlupp. So Palace could be brilliant. It could be a great signing for him.
If it works well with Benteke, that could be the link up.
They need to get balls in the box.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, but he's not always the most mobile, Benteke, but you know, put it on his head, and he'll take the chance.
He'll probably head it.
Yeah. And in the right direction.
Well, that's the thing. He's amazing. He's amazing in the end. And if there is a time where Palace, they're really close to the relegation zone and everything like that now, if there is a time where you say, listen, let's just be as direct as we can, get it up there, fight for the second ball in that area, they've still got quality players like someone like Kabay, who can get his foot on the ball. If they win that second ball in the last third, then he could start maybe threading balls through. But they need to be a lot more direct.
For a team near the bottom as well, Palace have that rare advantage of having a proven Premier League goal scorer who's going to in his mid-20s. I mean, like Sunderland basically haven't been saved, but their season looks a lot better because they've had Defoe, and kind of Palace have an even greater advantage given the age of Benteke in that sense. So they need to maximise that.
Absolutely.
Is Benteke going to be on the score sheet this weekend? Are they going to get one over on West Ham?
Allardyce will get a reaction, won't he?
I think so. I might go for a draw in this game.
It's not much good to either side, a draw, would it?
No.
Really.
The way, I mean, Allardyce, having covered them and all at his press conference, he always had this kind of approach where he would tick off certain points where he felt he could get points, and he would have had this down probably as an away draw. So I think he'd probably see it as a kind of a decent result.
Yeah, take a draw, I think.
All right, we'll go for a draw in that one then. West Ham have got some important games coming up, including a match against Manchester United, but the rest of them they might look at as ones that they could possibly win.